Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dependent Fanatic channel. Today, it is the big game on 3:30 on CBS between Michigan and USC in Ann Arbor. It's going to be a preview and prediction. How I'm going to do this is basically like the last time. I'm going to look at USC's offense first, and then we'll look at what they can do against Michigan's defense, and then we'll look at Michigan's offense versus USC's defense, and then a prediction at the end of the video for you guys. So let's start with USC's offense through 2 games. So they did beat LSU in the neutral site game, and they beat Utah State, blew them out at home last week. They had a bye as Michigan played Arkansas State this past Saturday. The pass game concerns me. Lincoln Riley and his pass attack concerns me as a Michigan fan, but we should be able to shut their run game down a little bit. But with Wink Martindale at DC, your pass game has to be a priority for us because he has allowed good passing attacks to look great so far this season. He tends to leave people on islands, which is something that head coach now with the Seattle Seahawks, Mike Macdonald, was able to disguise a little more and was more multiple, and so was Jesse Minter as defensive coordinator. We're still looking for that great performance from Wink Martindale. Let's look at USC's offensive weapons, and it all starts with the offensive line for any great team. According to ourlads.com, their starters are left tackle Elijah Page, who's a redshirt freshman, left guard Emmanuel Pregnon, a redshirt senior, center Jonah Monheim is a redshirt senior, right guard Alana Noah is a sophomore, and right tackle Mason Murphy is a redshirt junior. All of these are still the same starting lineup from the beginning of the season, which I did the National Title Contender Series, and there was a USC video, and it's them same guys. So they're going to be really good. At quarterback, behind them, Miller Moss. He is a junior. He is 73% so far on the season, 304 yards per game passing, a 9.2 average per completion, and he only has 2 touchdowns, but 0 interceptions. He's not a runner. He had 3 carries for negative 14 yards, probably all sacks. I think 2 of them were sacks. So, like I said, he's not a runner. He does look mobile enough to get around, but when Michigan's D-line is coming after you, you got to get rid of the ball quickly. Other teams against Michigan have been able to do just that. At running back, Woody Marks is a senior. 29 carries this season, 171 yards. That's a 5.9 average, and he has 3 rushing touchdowns. He also can catch the ball, 6 catches for 46 yards, a 7.7 average. Quentin Joyner backs him up, a sophomore. 14 carries, 96 yards, 6.9 average, and 2 touchdowns. He also has a couple catches for 13 yards. And Brian Jackson is a freshman, 7 carries for 34 yards. That's a 4.9 average. At tight end, you have Lake McCree, is a junior. He has 9 catches for 137 yards this season, a 13-yard average, and he has the most catches and yards so far in the receiving game, which surprised me a little bit. Now, the position that makes USC tick, which is wide receiver. ESPN is weird with these classifications. Are they juniors? Are they seniors? Are they red shirts? They don't say. But I'll just tell you what ESPN has on for them. Kyron Hudson is a junior. He has 6 catches for 99 yards. That's a 16.5 average. Kyle Ford is a senior, has 4 catches for 80 yards, 20 average. Zach Branch is a sophomore, 8 catches for 75 yards. That's a 9.5 average. Jacoby Lane, a sophomore, has 5 catches for 66 yards. That's a 13.2 average, and he has a receiving touchdown. Deuce Robinson is a sophomore. He has 2 catches for 49 yards. That's a 24.5 average. And Mackay Lemon is another sophomore. 4 catches for 45 yards, 11.3 average, and he has the other receiving touchdown. The field goal kicker is Michael Lance, and he is 4 of 5. His miss was from 20 some yards, but only one. And the punter is Eddie Zeplicki. 4 punts for 50-yard average. It's just damn good. And also, 2 of those were inside of the 20-yard line. So that's what Michigan's defense will be having to go up against. An offense that is getting 38 points per game, which is 27th in the nation, 496 yards per game, which is 16th in the nation, 337 passing yards per game, which is 7th in the nation, and 159 rushing yards per game, which is 67th in the nation. Now, let's talk Michigan defense. What are they giving up? They're giving up 20 points per game, which is 57th in the nation, 304 yards per game, which is 54th, passing yards per game, 234, which is 90th. Rushing yards per game, they're giving up 70 is all, which is 15th in the nation. The majority of good teams have a great quarterback and great wide receivers. The name of the game on defense is to bend if needed, but do not break. Let them get down to the red zone, but don't let them score if possible. Michigan needs to do what they do best and stop. Oh, Texas broke us in that. We did not bend, we broke versus them. Michigan needs to do what they do best and stop the pass. The run game for USC will have a hard time without blitzes. Help the young secondary here, please. Wink. At defensive end, Michigan has a stud, Josiah Stewart, 10 tackles and 2 sacks. Derek Moore has 7 tackles. TJ Guy has 5 tackles. In the interior, the defensive tackles, maybe the best in the nation. Rayshon Benny leads the way, 10 tackles and 2 sacks, or 1 sack, excuse me. Mason Graham has 9 tackles. Kenneth Grant has 3 tackles and 2 pass breakups. The D-line isn't trusted enough yet. Wink has a blitzer every play, which hurts the D-line, actually. They would rather have another coverage player more times than not. Keep everything in front, especially versus a high-flying offense like USC. It also helps the linebackers as well. Ernest Hausman is a linebacker, 14 tackles, 1 sack. Jayshawn Barham, 14 tackles, and Jimmy Roller has 9 tackles flying around in that second level of the defense. Now the unit that has been picked apart, even with Will Johnson back there. Will has 10 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and an interception for a touchdown. Opposite corner has been Jair Hill, 8 tackles and 2 pass breakups. Wesley Walker has 6 tackles, and Amir Hall comes in and has 6 tackles. At nickelback, you got Jaden McBurrows, 3 tackles, and Quentin Johnson, 8 tackles. Safety, Makari Page has been electric so far this season. 13 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. I expect USC to score at least 20 points in the big house, so how much can Michigan score in this game? Hopefully more than 12 like they did versus Texas. Michigan got a couple of pieces of great news this week. Sharon Moore, the head coach, finally signed a contract with Michigan, and Alex Orji was named the starting quarterback for the USC game, which I've been waiting for ever since he wasn't the starter in week 1. So here we go, Michigan's offense. Just give me a second. Flu season, hopefully I don't have that. Too busy at work to deal with that. All right, Michigan's offense. The quarterback is now Alex Orgy, and it should have been from the start. I still contend that the RPO run onslaught with Orgy and Mullings could have beaten Texas. I really do. Now we get to see if Michigan's offense is better under Orgy. At the same time, we are seeing how good USC's defense really is. At quarterback, Alex Orgy. Like I said, the perfect RPO and zone read quarterback. Mahomes and Brady wasn't great in college either. So it doesn't matter that he's not probably not going to go be a high draft pick in the NFL. No, not really. Just have a great college quarterback. They win games. But we need a great college quarterback, and Orgy could be it with his 6'3", 235-pound frame. Can he pass? I don't care. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, he is a threat against the USC defense. At running back, Kalel Mullings has 36 carries, 270 yards so far this season in 3 games. That's a 7.5 average. He has 2 rushing touchdowns. Donovan Edwards also has 36 carries, but only for 150 yards, a 4.2 average, and 1 touchdown. And Ben Hall has been coming in as well, 6 carries for 34 yards. That's a 5.7 average. So, and we're deeper than that. We got Cole Cabana, Micah Capana, Marshall. The list goes on and on. And then tight end, he was hurt in the last game, and Sharon Morris said, we're just going to let the doctors deal with that. That was his injury update. So, still up to the doctors, but he is crucial for our pass game and blocking in the run game as well. Loveland is 6'5", 245 pounds. He has 19 catches so far for 187 yards. That's a 9.8 average and a touchdown. Marlon Klein is the backup tight end, or hopefully the second tight end on the field at the same time a lot. 6'6", 247 pounds in his own right. He has 4 catches now for 50 yards. That's a 12.5 average. And then Hogan Hansen was the TD recipient from Alex Orgy last week late in the game. At wide receiver, Samaj Morgan has the most non-tight end catches with 9 this season, 56 yards and 1 touchdown. Fred Moore has 3 catches for 38 yards, 12.7 average. Tyler Morris has 5 catches for 32 yards is all this season, 6.4 average. That's not good. The wide receiver room is better than you might think, but Michigan struggles to get them the ball. Not that is a bad thing if you can establish the run and rely on tight end play. All this is happening behind an offensive line where it's been to start the season. It's different than what it was. Left tackle now, Miles Hinton, a senior. Left guard, Josh Preeb, a graduate transfer. Center, Dominic Gaitis is the starter now, redshirt junior. Right guard, Gio El-Hadi is a redshirt junior. And then Evan Link at right tackle has been starting, redshirt freshman. But now that Orgy is the quarterback, could we have another line shift or change? Bigger the better. Our kicker's awesome, Zvada. He's another Money Moody. He has a big leg and he's accurate. In the first game, he drilled 2 50-yard field goals, 1 from 55. And then Tommy Doman is hit or miss. He has some good punts and then some not so good. So what does that equate to? Michigan's getting 23 points per game offensively. That's 99th in the nation. Yards per game, 329. That's 105th in the nation. Passing yards per game, 153. That's 121st in the nation. And then rushing yards per game, a modest 51st in the nation with 176 per game. Now, USC's defense. Let's just see. All right. Who and what can USC's defense do to a run-first offense? The D line and linebacker core needs to be great in this game now that Orgy is the starting quarterback. The linebackers are leading the defense, which can be good. Um, People are not getting into the secondary. But linebacker Eric Gentry leads the team in tackles with 14, also has a sack and one pass breakup. Easton M.A., I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. 13 tackles and one interception. And then Mason Cobb has 7 tackles and one interception. The defensive line themselves only have half a sack this season. That was Devin Tompkin. The D line only has 28 tackles total. Some of that is LSU and Utah State's unwillingness to run the ball. But some is when they did run, they did get it to the second level. Your secondary may be great, but it doesn't matter now that Orgy is Michigan's quarterback. RPO and zone read will be the key. USC's defense is giving up 10 points per game, 18th in the nation. Yards per game, 306. That's 53rd. Passing yards per game, 206. That is 70th. And rushing yards per game, 100. That is 33rd. All right. Prediction time. USC is great. They are. But they're a lot better than they were last year anyway. Michigan just got great news with Moore having a contract and Orgy being the starter. That could pick up a team. It's like a new start kind of for this squad. It's in the big house. It's at 3:30. Michigan is never on CBS, which is kind of an exciting thing as well. USC will need to provoke Wink Martindale, which is pretty easy to do nowadays, to stack the box. You can throw over top easy. That could happen. I just think with Orgy in Michigan, will run down USC's throat to score on most of their drives. And I'm not saying all touchdowns. I'm just saying it's gonna be a better percentage than it has been, I believe. This Orgy thing, it changes the whole. Before he was named the starter, I was gonna come on here and say, well, USC wins, probably by at least 10 points. But I think it's possibly and likely actually that Martindale will keep USC out of the end zone and force field goals, and I think Michigan will be able to run and eat time clock. I am a glutton for punishment lately. Give me Michigan to win this game. Low scoring game. I think they welcome USC to the Big Ten in the right kind of way. A 27-23 victory for the Michigan Wolverines over the USC Trojans. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure some of you will. Tell me I'm crazy. Let me know. That's what I have for you today. Predictions will be out. Lions. I do my picks against the spread every week, and last week was possibly the worst week I have ever had. Well, probably not, but it's up there. And stay tuned for that. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like the video, share with other people, subscribe if you have not, and thank you if you have. Have a great day, everybody, and let's turn this thing around and go blue, baby.